Hey, welcome back. Yeah, I wanted to get this point. This was the point I was trying to make yesterday, and I didn't really make it. About the reason Native Americans fell behind Europe is because in civilization development or whatever, is because it was much harder to domesticate American wild crops than it was to domesticate European wild crops. Domesticating crops and animals leads to civilization because not everyone has to be hunter-gatherer anymore. Does that make sense? A main point of civilization is domesticating like barley and wheat and rice and stuff, because then you can have a class of people who don't make food. They're just soldiers or politicians because you have excess food. You can't have excess food in a hunter-gatherer situation because you just have to like eat it right away, which is what the Native Americans kind of were. They domesticated some things, but like not enough to not be hunter-gatherers. They were still kind of hunter-gatherers. They were hunting animals, they were gathering berries. And so living in a society like that, you can't develop anything really, like technology, more than hunter-gatherer technology, because every single person in the society has to get food for themselves. So you don't have like a class of people like soldiers. You can't. Everybody is a soldier, and if you're gonna go to war, everybody has to fight in it. And so you can't. I don't know. That's like not super. That just forget that point. The Department of Health is calling me. Uh-oh. I can't be good. They never call you because they're like, hey, you're super healthy. Why are they calling me? I got my freaking vaccine. Get off my back. But yeah, hunter-gatherers, whatever. That last point I made was stupid, so just forget it. So what do we want to talk about today? Oh, Seaward's Folly. I never talked about Seaward's Folly. And I have to finish. I have one more note for the Lincoln book that I never got to. I gotta do this. And then I gotta do this. Put it. I wanna put it. You gotta put it. Okay. I'm gonna dig you up, and I'm gonna put it, and I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna get rid of you, and I'm gonna put it. Put it. Oh. I don't know. We're doing okay, right? Hey. I got a voicemail. You want to listen to it? I'll listen to it at the end of the day. We'll see what the Department of Health told me. Hey, we're calling to tell you you're super healthy. You're the healthiest person in New York. We're gonna give you an award. I don't think that's why they're calling me. Seaward's Folly. I just wanted to talk about this, just so that I remember it. It's kind of funny. One of the big characters, it was Lincoln's Secretary of State, was Seward. And there's this thing called Seward's Folly, which is he bought Alaska, and they thought it was so stupid that they called it Seward's Folly. I don't know. He was the guy who bought Alaska from Russia. I guess after Lincoln died, he was still secretary of buying stuff, and he bought something from Russia. But it was pretty interesting because I never talked about Lincoln's assassination, really. Um, the night Lincoln was assassinated, we all know that, like, oh, some other people also were targeted, but they didn't die. So that's true. The vice president was also targeted. Andrew Johnson. Well, that's pretty interesting. But what happened was they didn't have a super great plan. There was 3 guys who wanted to assassinate Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, and Seward, the Secretary of State. But the guy who was going to assassinate the vice president kind of chickened out at the end because he was like, oh, I thought we were just going to capture them. I didn't know we were going to, like, and I don't really want to kill anybody. So it was kind of stupid. Like, why weren't you guys all on the same plan on the same night? Like, at the last minute, he was like, wait, you guys want to kill him? I don't want to do that. And so he's like, okay, I'm not going to kill Andrew Johnson. Wait, what is this? Whack-a-mole? Then, I don't like this. This is not my thing. But the guy who was going to assassinate Seward almost killed him. But Seward had just gotten in a terrible accident on a train, and he almost died from this train accident. So he was in bed, and there was like a bunch of people there, like his doctors and his wife and his daughter and his brother. They were all there on the night he was going to be assassinated. So the assassin came into his house and with a knife and was going to stab him. No, he had a gun, but I think he shot it at his brother. And then he had the knife. Because Seward was like up in this 3rd floor of like his mansion or whatever. And so the assassin had to get past like 20 people to get to him, and he did. And he stabbed Seward in the face 5 times, I think, while he was already in bed from like all the train accident. But then his brother like attacked him, and then he ran away, and he stabbed his brother too. It was kind of crazy. Like, I never heard this story about the assassination of Seward. Like, he got it pretty bad too. It wasn't just Lincoln. I mean, Seward didn't die, so. But you know who did die? His wife. His wife died. His wife died like a week later, and it was just from shock, they said. Like, after the attack, she was so shocked that she had to go to the hospital, and then she just died from shock. I don't know. That can't be true, but. Oh. We'll start. Oh, what am I doing? This is bad. Oh. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, well, that worked out. So someone tried to kill Seward, stabbed him in the face. He was already bedridden. Vice president was supposed to blah, blah, blah. Oh, this was really sad. So Abraham Lincoln's son, Tad, his mom and like his family sent him to this play after Lincoln got shot, because they're like, oh, we don't want him to see him like this. He's really sick and he might die, so they sent him to a play. He was like 10 years old or something. But then while he was at the play, they stopped the play, and they were like, the president's dead. So the kid found out that his dad died from this play. So that's kind of crazy. Tad found out because he was... Oh, and also, Tad died. So this is the reason why Lincoln doesn't have... He had one son, Robert, who lived till he was like 70 or whatever. But the rest of his kids died when they were young. His son, Tad, lived to be 18. But he just died like from pneumonia or something. Tuberculosis, I don't know. And Mary was so attached to all her kids. Like when Tad died and when Lincoln died, it's kind of a sad story with Mary. She just became kind of like a recluse, and it seemed like she was miserable for the rest of her life after Lincoln died. She didn't really do anything. Her one living son, Robert, actually committed her to an asylum. So that's why, like, after that happened, she felt like she had no family left. And she just kind of went crazy. Like, I have nobody. The story of the book is Lincoln and his relationship with Seward. Seward was supposed to be the president. Lincoln took that from him, but instead of being rivals, they became friends and advisors, not adversaries. They were supposed to be adversaries. Lincoln and Seward, from adversaries to advisors. This is a story all about how... So yes, I don't know if I ever mentioned that, but Seward was supposed to be the president. Like, he was and Lincoln kind of came out of nowhere. Seward was the guy who, like, waited his turn, and he was supposed to be the guy. It's gonna be Seward. But the reason I think why Lincoln kind of won was because he was kind of an unknown person, and Seward and everybody else, they all had like all these different baggages with them, and Lincoln was just kind of this cool guy who talked really cool and like had all these amazing stories and was really personable, and so he just won, just kind of like a fluke. I think I'm dead. Whatever. Who's coming? I'm gonna die. This is gonna be my last level anyway. Oh yeah, I'm done for the day. Cool. It's good because it's getting really hard. But this was fun. Thanks, Vault. Yeah, that's pretty much it with the book. So how did Seward's wife die again? Died. Seward's wife died. Frances Adeline Seward. How did Franny Seward die? Tuberculosis. Oh, that doesn't sound right. She died months later. The events of the night took their toll on Mrs. Seward, whose health rapidly declined after the attack. She died just months later. Fanny Seward succumbed to tuberculosis. Okay. So she was just like, her immune system, I think that's like kind of true. Like you have a lot of stress and it lowers your immune system, and then you just get tuberculosis and you're just tired and you don't want to live and you die. She died of a heart attack. Oh, that's different. 6 weeks after the unsuccessful... Those are differing reports. She was buried in Auburn, New York. That's close to me. Where's Auburn, New York? It's... How many minutes away is it from me? It's 60 miles. That's by Syracuse. Okay, the zombies ate your brains. Okay, that's a good way to end. So yeah, that was a good week, maybe. Oh, it's cold in here. It's been cold and up in here. But whatever. Anything else we want to talk about today? I don't know. This week's... I don't have much to talk about this week. I didn't have anything. Like, I didn't do anything. But, on Monday, I'm going to do that. It's cold in here. On Monday, I'm going to do that board game thing. I'm going to do it. Make me do it. I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to go on the Discord and be like, hey guys, I'm going to go on Monday. Like, I'm stressed about it. I don't know, like, what's it like? How many people are coming? What game are you going to play? Just make me feel better. Because I don't really know what they do. Like, what games, they didn't say what game they were going to play. And it's in a public place. It's in this, like, food market place. That seems kind of stressful. And you have to wear a mask. So, can they even hear me when I'm wearing the mask? That's a whole thing I have to do again. I don't know. Maybe they won't care too much about it. I definitely notice when I have to wear the mask, I have a harder time talking. It's just like, oh, I got the mask on, they're not going to hear me, I'm not going to talk. But I'm excited for my library. Look, I've already got a little library going. Look at all my books, and I have a couple more coming. But it's going to be nice to, like, just have a bookcase and just be like, I read that book. And, like, and books are important. Everybody knows it, but, like, this is what we do, man. Humans. It's important. The written language, this is pretty interesting, and I don't think I knew this, but he was saying in the Guns and Germs book, like, actual written language is kind of a fluke. Like, it was only developed maybe once or twice independently. So, like, there were hundreds of civilizations all over the world, but only one or two developed it. I think it was cuneiform, which was the first one. And then out of cuneiform, all the other ones developed. It wasn't like, oh, there was cuneiform, and then there was hieroglyphics, and then there was Roman numerals or whatever. They all came from the one thing, so if they didn't develop that one thing, maybe we wouldn't have written language. It wasn't a given. That was the interesting thing. I remember in school learning about cuneiform. Because, like, one of the earliest cuneiform tablets was, like, an accounting system. It was like, okay, 3 oxens are worth, or we bought 3 oxens today, and that was, now we have 3 less oxen in our inventory. So I kind of like to think of, this is a stupid joke, but, like, accounting as the world's second oldest profession. Because it's, I don't know, whatever. But I guess writer has to be older, so it doesn't even make sense. You want to see a picture from Anna Karenina? They have, like, nice little pictures. Oh, there was one. I wonder who drew these. There's Anna. No, that's not Anna, is it? Who's this guy? Ooh. Okay. I gotta turn the heat on, so, see you tomorrow.